Previously, the protagonist remembered everything the bullies had done to him. Gong Chun attacked and was easily defeated by him, but he didn't level up, which didn't make sense. Instead of giving up, he came up with a new idea he wanted to test. Now, this week's chapter begins. Si-chun stood wrapped in crackling yellow electricity. His hand was locked around Gong Cheng's throat, forcing him down against the ground. Before it could go any further, a calm voice cut through the tension. The voice reminded them that they were still on school grounds. It was not loud, but it carried authority. The kind that did not need to be raised. Si-chun turned. A young woman stood nearby. Her blonde hair was neat and well-kept, and her posture was calm and controlled. She was the vice president of Lingyu Academy's student council. Her presence alone was enough to silence the crowd. She stated that Gong Cheng had crossed the line first, and that the punishment he had already received was enough. Si-chun let go. Gong Cheng collapsed onto the ground, gasping for air. Si-chun looked at the woman for a moment. He recognized her position and understood why she had stepped in. She was not protecting Gong Cheng. She was stopping the situation from going too far. It was already over. If she had arrived any later, it would not have ended like this. Si-chun turned away. The courtyard stayed silent. No one moved. The vice president looked down at Gong Cheng, then spoke again. She stated calmly that Gong Cheng would not touch Si-chun again. From the edge of the courtyard, the remaining bullies watched without a word. The confidence they once had was gone. What they had just seen did not match the image they believed in. As Si-chun and his friend walked away, the crowd slowly began to move again. Quiet whispers followed them. Behind them, the vice president listened to the bullies talking among themselves. For the first time, a question formed in her mind. Was he really the weakest student in the academy? Night fell over the dormitory. Inside a small room shared by 4 students, Ma Long could not sit still. His glasses were crooked as he paced back and forth, talking fast and full of energy. He insisted that what happened earlier was real. Si-chun had awakened. Not just awakened, but as a lightning-type assassin. He described the moment again. The speed, the pressure, the way Gong Cheng was completely overwhelmed. To Ma Long, there was no doubt left. Xiangzhu leaned back casually, brown hair hanging over his eyes. His striped shirt matched his careless attitude. As a rank E-Corps mage, he dismissed the story outright. Si-chun had always been a nobody. Poor background, weak body, no resources. Awakening into something like a lightning assassin did not make sense. If Si-chun were really strong, Xiangzhu argued, he would not be outside doing basic physical training. The story did not add up. From the side of the room, Xiangyu spoke while staring at his screen. As a rank E Flora chanter, his voice was calm but doubtful. He suggested that Ma Long had misunderstood what he saw. Rumors often spread faster than the truth. Xiangzhu stood up. He moved to the center of the room and reminded them of something they all knew. The 4 of them ranked at the bottom of their year. But even at the bottom, there were still levels. He raised his hand. A faint glow formed above his palm, shaping into a small, unstable orb of energy. It flickered, but it was real. Proof of his core mage class. He stated that awakening happened only once. Classes did not change. Support types stayed support types. And among the 4 of them, he was the only combat class mage. That made him number 1 in this room. As the energy faded, his thoughts shifted to the upcoming evaluations. If he performed well, there was still a chance. Small but real. Tomorrow was the final rank evaluation before the graduation exam. Whatever the truth was, it would be exposed then. Elsewhere, the rank E training demon lair stood sealed behind a massive gate. Flames rose upward like a pillar, twisting the air around it. Guards stood on both sides, completely still. From within the fire, a figure stepped out. Gong Ting emerged calmly. His silver hair was untouched by the heat. His long coat moved slightly, as if the flames meant nothing. Behind him walked the vice president of Lingyu Academy's student council. They passed the guards without slowing. Waiting near the gate was Gong Cheng. Gong Ting looked at him. His body was wrapped in bandages. His posture was stiff, his expression filled with resentment. The moment he saw his brother, his calm broke. He complained about the public humiliation he had suffered. He said his reputation was ruined and demanded that something be done. Gong Ting turned away and said he would handle it. Later that night, Gong Ting sat comfortably in an upscale restaurant. The vice president sat across from him, calm as ever. He listened while eating. He dismissed Si-chun's actions as a coincidence. A short burst of strength that meant nothing in the long run. Rank and resources were what truly mattered. The vice president reminded him that almost every rank D student had already joined his club. More importantly, he controlled access to the demon lairs. Without that access, awakened students could not grow at a meaningful pace. Those left outside would fall behind permanently. Gong Ting did not argue. There was no reason to. Heavy rain poured over the city. Sichen ran through it alone. A weighted pack pressed against his back, nearly 100 kilograms. His breathing stayed steady as his feet struck the pavement again and again. His target was 20 kilometers, and he did not slow down. He understood that physical training was the foundation. Awakened abilities put heavy strain on the body. Without strength, even powerful classes would break under their own power. But he also knew this was still not enough. As he ran, memories surfaced. The year 2160. The day the Demon King wrath descended on the human world. Cities fell. Millions died. Demonic gates opened, allowing other demon kings to enter. By the end, Sichen had only one family member left, and even that was taken from him. That destruction started with wrath. Without wrath, none of it would have happened. 3 years remained. 3 years before wrath descended again. Those 3 years were his only chance. His phone vibrated. The sound pulled him out of his thoughts. He saw his sister's name and answered immediately. Xiaoyun spoke happily. She said she had entered a competition. If she won first place, the prize money would be enough to pay their rent. For her, it had only been a few days since they last spoke. For him, it felt much longer. Rain mixed with tears as he listened. When she asked what was wrong, he said it was nothing. He told her it had just been a long time since he heard her voice. She laughed, confused, reminding him that they had spoken recently. She said she would call again after the competition. The call ended. Sichen stood still for a moment. Then he started running again. Hours later, he returned to the dormitory. The building was quiet. Nearly 10 hours had passed since he returned to this body. It still felt unfamiliar, weak, but young. He showered in silence, looking at his reflection. This body had far more potential than the one he lost. Afterward, he sat on his bunk. He knew what he needed next: access to demon lairs. But those gates were controlled by guilds and powerful families. Without support, there was no entry, no monsters, no leveling. For normal awakened students, growth was nearly impossible. As exhaustion set in, his thoughts returned to the strange power he had felt earlier. Gluttony. Before he could think about it further, his vision changed. A loading screen appeared. The bar filled slowly. Loading complete. A system notification appeared. The gluttony system was now online. His consciousness dropped. When his vision returned, he was standing in a red world beneath a massive demonic structure. A black tower stretched upward, disappearing into the distance. He wondered where he was. Moments earlier, he had been asleep. That's it for this chapter. I'll be covering each new chapter as it releases. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.